Friends, Greg Newmaster coming at you again with another action figure review. Today I have Star Wars The Vintage Collection Clone Captain Rex from the Bad Batch. And I gotta say, I'm so happy to finally have this figure as it is. This comes from the Amazon 4-pack. Oddly named the Bad Batch, even though it's not actually the Bad Batch, which was kind of a tease by Hasbro, because we don't get Hunter, we don't get Wrecker, we don't get Crosshair, we don't get Echo, we get Captain Rex and Clone Captain Gray, and just like ancillary characters who don't really matter in the 4-pack. When, in all honesty, I think most people just wanted this version of Rex. Because Rex, like two new characters that came about from the Clone Wars, that didn't really connect to the movies were Ahsoka Tano and Captain Rex. I would say those are the two most popular new characters that came from the Clone Wars series. And in terms of good guys, anyhow, I mean, you can make an argument for Cad Bane or the Inquisitors or whoever else. But Rex, Rex was my favorite clone. He was the leader. He just had a great personality. He had the unique yellow hair, and he was Anakin's right-hand man. And it was exciting to see them together. So, I, myself, and I think many other people have been waiting for this figure in the 3.75 scale line, the classic vintage collection line. And, they kept releasing Captain Rex figures, but he had his helmet on. And when they re-released the most recent one, it was just a repack, which was very disappointing because everybody wanted a new head sculpt because the technology just keeps getting better and better. So it was very exciting for them to release this figure, but it was super annoying because they released him in a 4-pack and they called it the Bad Batch, even though it wasn't the 4 Bad Batch characters. And it was just very disappointing, very disappointing. So I'm very happy to have this figure. I couldn't wait. I didn't want the other 3 figures that came in the 4-pack because I really didn't care about them, to be honest with you. I just wanted this figure. It was the Amazon exclusive. It sold out right away. I had to buy this aftermarket, but I'm just happy to have it. So, that being said, let's get a look at this awesome version of Captain Rex from the Clone Wars. He just looks fantastic. This card is beautiful. I normally just dispose of the cards because I don't care about them. I know many of you collectors really care about the cards and you buy up to 3 or 4 versions of the same figures. I just like to buy one unless it's my favorite character of all time. Typically I'll get a couple of Lukes or something like that. But I like this card so much. It's unpunched too. So I just cut the bubble. So I'm not going to destroy the card. But it's a nice animated image there. It doesn't look bad. And it's Captain Rex in his little sort of poncho trench coat, unlike how we're used to seeing him, because he's undercover at this point, trying to hide out because the Empire is starting to take over, at least on the Bad Batch series, which was a pretty enjoyable series. This is VC208, in case you want to know. And hopefully they'll release each one of these figures individually instead of in the 4-pack, because I just can't stand this. It's like they release these pre-orders and they sell out immediately, and I know, I'm a fellow collector myself, but many of you just buy multiples and then other people can't get them, and it's just not fair, It's not fair to the casual consumer or just like the regular collector who wants a chance to have one, and it just sells out, and then you have to pay ridiculous prices on the aftermarket. So it's very frustrating. So I hope that they will release this figure individually in stores, along with the other ones. And then I hope they do an actual Bad Batch pack or individuals in this in the vintage collection, where you get Hunter and Crosshair and the new version of Echo, Wrecker. Because for me, who grew up in the 80s and the 90s, they're all homages or tributes to 80s action stars, because Hunter is straight up Rambo. He looks just like Rambo. Wrecker is sort of a tribute to Schwarzenegger, but he's kind of a dummy. Arnold wasn't a dummy in his movies. Clint Eastwood is Crosshair. Things like that. So, and Tech's a cool character as well. So, let's open this guy up. I cut the bubble. I'm just going to slip him out and preserve this card, because this is a very nice card. And I'm just so happy to finally have this figure. People have been dying for a really good Captain Rex figure for years. So it's just very exciting to finally have him. Comes with the two standard blasters that he has. And let's get a look at those real quick, just so you guys can see. Nothing special or unique. They're just the standard blasters that he has. There's the other one. Exactly the same. No paint or anything. But let's get a look at this helmet, which looks wonderful. That was also a big selling point. Look, there's all the little notches, for all the droid kills that he's had. So that's cool. I was excited to get the visor on this, but the visor is sort of an impediment in the sense that his little antenna or scope doesn't move freely. It's connected to the visor, so when you pull the visor up, it moves the antenna. So that's a little bizarre that they decided to do that, but I don't mind. It's fine. I'll just keep the visor down or take it off, which I think you can do, that I've seen in some videos. Ooh, I want to be really careful not to damage this. Yeah, so yeah, you can remove the visor if you want, but I'm not going to do that because I like it. I like the design. I don't mind it. And now I can't get it back on because I pried it off. Stupid me. We'll get it back on when we put it on his head, but let's get a good look at Rex. So, here's the other thing is they also took the lazy way out. They chose a bad head sculpt for Rex. They gave him fluffy hair where Rex has a shaved head and he has the blonde hair. So what they could have done, which would have been smarter in terms of the head sculpt, here's Jesse. They should have just used Jesse's head sculpt and just painted his bald head yellow. And that would have been a better head sculpt for Rex. But they didn't do that, and they gave him fluffy hair, which is a mistake, but whatever. It's Rex. So I love this tunic, this covering, trench coat, whatever you want to call it. Looks very Wild West, post-apocalyptic sort of thing. Oh, and his little blue commander kilt, kimono, skirt. I don't know what the name of it is. I know many of you know the exact specific names of all these things, but I love that it's a soft good, so that is awesome. Because here's the original Rex figure, just to get a comparison. And his helmet and his head looks pretty small, but I think that's proportionate. And this is another thing, I don't know about you guys, but I appreciate that now figures, if the figure has a masked face or a helmeted head, they'll give you two heads. That's nice. But I prefer, if the figure has a helmet, that the helmet is removable and it goes over the head. So I prefer this, that I can remove the helmet, and I don't care if it's a little bit bigger. I just think that's awesome that you can take the helmet off and, no, not sort of. You can definitely remove it. So that's fun to me. I enjoy that. So here's the initial Rex figure, and he has this little sort of half shoulder pad, and it's the color blue, which signifies that he's part of the 501st, which is Anakin's clone troop. Oh, actually, the original blaster on the original Rex figure is much larger than the newer one. So I actually kind of, if you can see that there, I kind of like these blasters better on the original figure. But anyhow, so people have complained though that this head is more proportionate to the body of the figure, but I like the big helmet. I think that's cool looking, and I enjoy that, and I like the visor. So not gonna complain there. I love the removable helmet. I don't know about you guys, and that's just so much fun. But let's get a good look at that head. He's got the yellow hair, sort of like Ben Reilly, the clone of Spider-Man. How Spider-Man just dyed his hair blonde, the clone did, to distinguish himself from Peter Parker. Let's see what he looks like from the back. I just want you guys to see the detail, all the checks. Were the checks on the original figure? Yes, they were. There's the coloring, little splotches of yellow, orange, goldish color, copper color. Yeah, and the only big difference is the visor. I wish they could have just made the visor a separate removable piece that went over top of the antenna, instead of making it one giant piece. But it's a business and they're trying to save money, whatever. Just look at his gauntlets or his greaves. That's cool too. Like, see how they have the checks on the greaves and on his forearms. Really awesome. So let's see if we could take off his tunic. And that's awesome too. I didn't even notice this. Oh, and here's a quick thing to note. It's not the double ball joint that they've been using. It's the single ball joint, which is sort of that's a classic style of the figures where they just use the single ball joint. But look, he has a hood here. So this, I thought this was just merely a neck scarf, but this is a hood as well. So you can put this up as a hood, which is awesome. That's cool. So if you want to pose him or display him in different ways, he has a hood as well, but it can also be used as a neck scarf. So that's great. He's just an awesome figure. He, in my opinion, is the best clone. Next to Boba Fett and Jango Fett, of course. But let's take this off and get a look at him. Oh, that's great. So they do give him a sort of shoulder pad piece here. Not his typical Commander Rex. Yeah, see, this is bummer too. I wish they would have, because this is a special figure, I wish they would have given him his shoulder pad. I know we get the nice coat, but Rex deserves to have. I call it a shoulder pad. It's like a single blue shoulder pad, but I wish he would have had that. But they do give him this piece, but you don't get the shoulder pad, and then you get the blue skirt, which is soft goods, which I love. Mine actually bled out a little bit onto the figure, so it's stained blue there. So I wonder if I can scrub that off at all. But articulation, we got a good torso articulation. We got the single, it's just on a single ball joint on the head. Shoulders move up about that far. Let's see, elbows. We have a nice bend in the elbow. We got the good weapon holding hand, the hinge in the wrist, where you can point the wrist down because he's holding guns, which I love and prefer. Love how Star Wars and the G.I. Joe figures do that. Having trouble getting the blaster in his hand right now. But, alright, anyhow. So you guys can see that. Can't get his arms. You can kind of force him all the way up. I don't like the hip joints that they use. They're sort of just awkward. They started doing them, the T-joints, with Bo-Katan, which I love, and I hope they just continue to do that from now on. Nice bend in the knee. We got the wrist joint, hinge up and down. There is no pivot, though, for Rex, unfortunately. Yeah, so I wish they would have just done a whole redesign, because Rex deserves it. Rex deserves just the best of the best, because he's such a popular character. He's such an awesome character. Blasters go in the holster not very well. They're kind of loose in there, so that's kind of unfortunate. So be careful, because they're small and they're easy to lose. But anyhow, I'm pleased and I'm very happy I got this figure. I hope they just release him solo on a single card. Actually, you know, he's still not the perfect Rex. He's not as good as he can be. I love this Jesse figure. I love the 3-pack of the 501st with Jesse, Echo, and Fives. And I feel like I like these better than Rex, even though they're pretty similar. But still not there. Still not perfect with Captain Rex. But this is a great figure. I'm happy I have it. I think it's a much improved version of the original Rex figure. And I highly recommend it if you can get it. If you're fortunate enough to get the Amazon pack, you know, good for you. But you can get it on eBay if you want to get them on the aftermarket. And if you like my video, please like and subscribe. And God bless you all. This is Star Wars Vintage Collection, The Bad Batch Clone Captain Rex.